Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Manila Major Qualifier. We are here in Group B, only kicking off this particular group here with a game between Kingdom, Dota, and NoT today, best of two or two-game series if you prefer to be exact. Really excited to see here these teams compete, and really excited to be casting this as well. My name is Dragon Job, and I'm joined by a few people to make the broadcast even better. It's not just Lurkerderp, who will be providing stats, but also the guy who just never stops casting, the one and only Modpacks. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic as always, but
And there's a
I'm
double
a
threat
little
going on again,
confused.
isn't it?
No, I should be good. Oh,
Modpacks, come on, don't leave me hanging. There you go.
sometimes you gotta switch the old microphone around. I adjusted the audio setting. Cool, typical me. Sorry, guys. Let me just down a little. There we go. Okay, so fantastic, but I'm a little surprised. Go first Storm Spirit. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I actually just saw Storm Spirit in the game that Gorgon was just casting. FDL versus what do we call it? Infamous. Yeah, Infamous actually picked that one up. And yeah, it's pretty much a new hero these days. Obviously, with a couple of changes coming in with 6.87, he's maybe a little bit more viable here, and it changes Bloodstone, etc., etc. But yeah, I guess we get to talk about it a lot in this particular game. But Lion and Slaughter picked up in the first phase. Lion, not so surprising, but the Slaughter maybe as well on the side of NoT today.
Yeah, Slaughter has been having a hell of a time with the new buffs to Armlet, obviously being one of the most items nowadays, but this, like, Storm Spirit, is one of the forces against your Storm Spirits, your Pucks, anyone who's a little bit slippery. Very extended lockdown, very difficult to deal with as a Storm Spirit because you really don't want to go for that BKB, you want to cover items first. Generally, Lion's gonna have his blink long before you have that defensive item, whatever you go. It's just that, like, Storm Spirit, although he is back and certainly he's a viable hero, he's just one that you can pick your whole draft around when like, he's so much more common in, like, that 5th pick scenario. I mean, we even just saw in that last game, they ended up going for the 5th pick Storm Spirit, and then still 5th pick they went for the anime. It's like, there's always this one thing that you can do up against Storm. So, on the other hand, we've got a little bit of a counterplay there in the fact that they also went for the IO, because IO +1 scenario. Whole draft around it. You go for Winter Wyverns, you go for the Witch Doctor. So we'll see how they want to, like, ban for these situations. Lion and Slaughter, though, are actually fantastic against both.
Yeah, definitely a lot more room to go into it even further. This, I mean, the AM is now banned out. Obviously, one of these big nuke potential there with the Mana Void on the Storm Spirit, who kind of jumps in, depletes all his mana, obviously, but. There's still something like a Disruptor in the pool, which is not just great against any sort of IO lineup, but obviously also up against Storm with that easy disable. So yeah, NoT today. They've all their options open really. And
I also kind of like how they did ban out, like, the Tiny or the Chaos Knight. They're all just so viable right now that it does seem to kind of make sense to worry about maybe something like the Gyrocopter for, like, the team. More team fight oriented and a lot of early aggression, and then the Abaddon, which is also very NA kind of a hero that Dota would certainly be willing to pick up. And there's that last support that will be for the counter IO plays, the Disruptor, Winter Wyvern, and their call. Now, obviously, the Static Storm great against Storm Spirit as well.
Does make a lot of sense. So, if you're looking at Kingdom now, do you think they're thinking about lifesteal here? It has not been banned out, and maybe it's also one consideration with the Storm Spirit. Just go back old school. Hey, lifesteal is back in the meta, more or less. Why not just bring out the lifesteal combos? Bring out the Queen of Pain a little bit more often. Bring out the Storm Spirit. These kind of infest bomb type of heroes. And together with that, plus the IO can have 3 heroes at the very least. Just kind of popping out at you from pretty much anywhere.
One thing to note, actually, they're going to pick up the Wind Ranger here. Still have the Nature's Prophet in the pool. It's a little bit surprising, and it's someone that pairs up very well with the IO, of course, when you're looking towards the global presence. Plus, you have the zip of that Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
Something they could be looking forward towards their offlane.
Okay, they go. Gonna go all combo here. Shadow Demon Mirana, also classic. Not sure about it in this game though. I mean,
The
I
lanes are a
guess
little
line-
already like
Yeah,
a little bit
it's-
of a mystery here because you kind of start thinking he's going to be IO +1 in the mid. Is this like an off-lane core Mirana that they're going to go for and send the spirit to the safe lane just to guarantee that he gets good start towards his Bloodstone? We've seen a couple 10 solves picked up in the same essence lately as well. Interesting.
Actually have a couple of options here if they want to go completely out of the box. I mean, Stormsword should be okay in the mid lane up against the Windrunner, so you don't necessarily need to have the IO there, which means you can still run IO +1 plus a traditional carry in the safe lane. It's still tiny in the pool, in CK, these kind of things. Then you could have the Shadow Demon Mirana in the off lane. You could run that one position Mirana, can run some sort of weird aggro tribe Shadow Demon, kind of setting up something on the side, but it's gonna be the Bristleback. So there'll be the one position, Mirana offlane, maybe together with the Shadow Demon, linking up with the Bristleback either mid or safe lane.
Yeah, this is again like why bother banning out CK and Tiny if Bristleback is still such a good hero? So they'll difficult lane for anyone to go up against. It looks like it will be Leo. Wind Ranger will have to do it, and not today. The reason I even brought up the Nature's Prophet is that not today pick it like all the time, like extremely popular for them, especially lately over in Canada Cup. They've already had it in 4 of their games, so we're all over that hero. Pretty well together with it, and this will be your core Slardar. Okay, I mean I gotta say the Bristleback pick. I like it with the IO, but they do have some of the best heroes against it. Slardar Wind Ranger is a combo that you see very typically up against like Lone Druid or any sort of a target that you need to really down because of the minus armor combined with fire. And Shackle's fantastic for a long duration, stun, and actually positioning yourself properly against that bristle to get that damage onto him. It'll be up to Shadow Demon to save him or noosh him with the relocate saves.
Of course, the saves can only come in if you don't aggressively use that, and maybe into Windrunner, who does have at some point perhaps a Blink Dagger that you do not quite expect. With the relocate in, you kind of are prime target for a well-placed Shackle if you can make that work. So a lot of things that they're gonna have to count for. Hang on, let me just finish one thing here. Ah, things weird. I'm gonna have to change. Gonna have to change our names on the overlay in a moment's time. But before that, let's actually take a quick look at a team starting with Kingdom Dota up on a dire side, essentially Leviathan rehashed. Got Jenkins leading the charge on the Bristleback, linked up together with the IO played by Nusham. We're gonna have the other combo 747, formerly Void Boys, playing Mirana, Ja on that Shadow Demon. It's a safe lane, all in the hands of Ziz on the Storm Spirit by the looks of it, unless they want to switch it up a little bit more.
Yeah, and on the rating side, for not today, me, Jericho on your Disruptor, Nightmare, playing up on the Lion, Benjaz, Slardar, Leo style, Ranger, and still summoning Trains of Fountain. Tekka, Nature's Prophet.
Alright, while I fix this overlay, I'm just gonna redo that.
So these are newer players here for not today. Like I was gonna say, I didn't recognize them. Then I'd make sure they weren't tagged up as different names or something. But only been with the team for a little while, like 30 games ish, for Nightmare and King Tekka. A little bit of pressure here for them, but so far so good. We'll see how they're gonna handle this dual offlane because IO back is just something that if you screw up in the first like 3 levels, it can be brutal. You really want to try and shut down the back as much as you can, but you can't allow yourself to get stacked up too much, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I definitely expect these guys to start picking up some stakes sooner rather than later. The way these names shape up. So one of the obviously we talked about how what kind of combos these people could go for in the lanes. This is one option among many they could have gone for. So I mean, definitely would have been potential here for the Shadow Demon Mirana down on the offlane, just with Jar sitting in sidelines, just disrupting someone for an easy arrow, like one of these supports who are very, very squishy early on, to all of that burst damage and a couple of right clicks. But then again, middle lane. Also super useful to have the Shadow Demon there to help zone out the Windrunner. Give 747 an easy way, an easy lane here, more or less.
I gotta say, this actually does worry me though, and why I was surprised with the way he placed it down. Like, you do eliminate or you do eliminate the hard camp, right? So you can't be from the Bristleback if you force another lane. But we all know that Bristleback loves stacked ancients. What's better than actually being in the off lane this whole time with your IO to do it?
Can take quite a lot of damage here. Lucian's there. Salve it up and actually. Oh no, I think they popped the cell, but it got cancelled by the last Thunder Strike.
Yeah, I think he had to.
It's actually quite a big deal. Yeah. Well, as it stands, usually he already has his bottle, so he'll be able to actually heal up Jenkins once he takes a little bit of damage himself. Do that here with the Ancients coming up, but obviously early levels is the time we want to try and leverage your damage up against the Bristleback when it does not quite have that passive up and running or just yet.
Yeah, it's not until about that like third, fourth level that the IO Bristle can actually have any sort of offensive capabilities. So, this DD rune's actually great, Jericho. They can get some better zoning potential here. Really try and keep them out. Like, we all know about this whole range creep thing.
It is double stun comes in. Couple of right clicks here, might just spill the first blood for Newsham here with follow-up crush after the hacks, and there it is. Looking for Jenkins too.
Oh, he's so close to mana.
Should the trick.
Oh man, 2 mana shy.
Doesn't quite get the range either, but yeah, look at all this damage coming out from the Disruptor. Not something that you necessarily expect if you don't have vision over that rune, but yeah, hey, more than 100 coming out from with each single right click.
He just really needed that stick early.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Let's actually talk about a stop lane a little bit, because we've got Janna rotating up top here to help out Ziz, who's in a 1v1 up against Nature's Prophet. I wouldn't imagine that to be a very favorable matchup for the Stormsfoot in terms of trying to zone out the Prophet, because well, you're gonna have to try and deal with trees, you have very limited range.
Yeah, and he has no regen, right? Like, it almost feels like you need a Crystal Maiden or something, because you're not gonna have a bottle, just because you got your Mirana trying to farm up the Brown Boots, Aquila, Agony to be the build.
Yeah.
Pretty entertaining to watch, but yeah, he's gonna have a little bit more time. Look how much the Treants just go to town on you. And still does have armor though. I remember that was the big thing people were calling for in the nerf, to get armor down even further.
Oh yeah.
He'd be in even worse shape if it weren't for that.
Well, if armor was the only thing that would make people pick heroes, then we'd see Turtle in every single game, I suppose. But hey.
Wow, he's the one to come in on this.
Oh yeah.
He's so low. He might get us to the Treants.
Just finish the TP, and now Ziz gets him with his Sprout, a couple of more right clicks shoot to the trick, and there's no one actually to help him. Ziz still alive though, that last right click will finish him off, and yeah, King Tekka, nothing to really give him headaches, unless Ja can make something happen. He's all alone, does have the disruption, does have one Shadow Poison. The second one will take in a moment's time, that should actually be enough to secure the counter kill, so leaves the Shadow Demon gonna be very happy about that, second kill of his own. 550 gold and a bank on top of the boots for some juicy levels for the support.
Yeah, still definitely I'd say favoring the side today, simply because of just how important this Storm Spirit's farm is going to be, and the fact that he's going to be in lane for a long time. Like, head up into the Bloodstone, not exactly the fastest build-up, of course. And won't be that active before he has it. Oh, Leo style mid lane.
Ooh. Well, it goes in deep. The last right will miss thanks to the wind running out. Teleport reactions come in 7 for 7. Bite off a little bit more than he can chew.
That was like
50-50. Tower. Yeah.
With that Starstorm, either going to be getting the creep or him. Oh, I suppose it is the closest enemy unit these days, right? It's not random anymore.
It is, yeah. Well, wasn't quite in range, didn't quite get the damage off that it needed, and as a result, loses his own life, and this is not ideal. A hero like Mirana, who cannot really fall behind, no matter what position you kind of run her in. Oh, Shackle will latch, gonna be able to throw out some damage here. Follow-up stun will miss. That'll mean King Tekka will not finish up his own teleport.
Yeah, that was actually extremely close. They didn't have mention of the Lion. A little bit of miscommunication. I'm not sure if he didn't think the Shackle was actually going to hit, but off the creep. Not able to secure it. And they will secure bottom rune by the look, though. That's going to be huge, because 47. Susie. The arrow.
Nice arrow here will hit. Yeah, well, that's a long duration stun, so 7 for 7. Pick himself up, and he's one glimpse of the backlines, though. It's gonna be on Jenkins, dropping quite low, but also spamming out some of these quill sprags. And meanwhile, Newsham in the sideline, able to TP out. Even with King Tekka's rotation in, means he's unable to help his buddy out. They will track down a Bristleback. Wills were enough to bring down the one in this case. And was one obviously dying on that rune spot. That was all set up by this observer ward here. Actually, they saw the line rotate in. So 7 for 7 could go for this crazy arrow now. Speaking of wards, there's another one blocking up that hard camp, but Jericho might give his own life with it again. 7 for 7. The second support kill here within a minute.
Yeah, and again, they're not blocking this ancient stack.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me that they're just consistently providing vision. I think their game plan is going to be to test it when it actually goes down using the Nature Prophet, the Wind Ranger, and the Slider. But it definitely seems like something that you could just go for the block on. You know how crucial that is to every Bristleback draft, especially on the Dire side.
It's a completed 5-stack right now, and despite his death, despite them maybe not having the best time down the bottom lane, especially when it comes to trying to shut down farm of the Slider, because Ben he's not shut down at all. And he's going straight for the armlet by the looks of it, not even stopping for blink or treads or anything. For now, mid lane might see a bit of a different engagement here. Nightmare runs up into the Isle while 7 for 7 gets glimpsed back into the power shot after the focus fire, and yeah, of course, King Tekka rotating in, secures its secondary kill as well. And it turns into a tower push, I think with level 3 in the Nature's Call. Be able to if they want to, but instead they just go the separate ways. Top lane's being pushed in heavily. Zeus and Ja are able to nibble away this tier 1 tower. Quite successful here by the looks of it. Oh,
King Tekka dropped here.
Prophet to respond.
Push him up a little bit, but things so far going pretty well for the Radiant side. I mean, the Dire are definitely hanging in there. It's not like it's a massive lead that's being accumulated, and they have these kind of items that around the 20-minute-ish mark are going to be really coming online. Even their heroes.
The Leostar, do they have the damage to follow up? I don't really think though. There's still no wind run available, but the TP comes in. Glimpse back available for 7 for 7, but only a very short length. Let Shadow comes out just to secure the safety. But yeah, I mean, overall, would you say the Kingdom is favored here just because of the ancient stack? I mean, Bristleback is going to be able to take that together with the IO. They'll both get their level 6 off of that.
Yeah, they could just stack it right now.
Yeah.
Thing is, it is IO back, so it's not really pairing. Like when you think of IO plus DK or IO plus Tiny, once you hit 6 on the IO, you're looking crazy, right? Relocate, ganks, non-stop. More about grouping up and pushing. A lot of the time with your IO and Bristleback are just like forcing people to do. We might see them head into the mid lane. That's generally a pretty good area for it. But again, they're still waiting on their storms. It's gonna be a while before Z's actually like ready to do anything.
Let's have the Bloodstone, the Soul Ring, going into the Bloodstone a little bit later. Now, it's a bit of a smoke rotation and Nightmare and Jericho. I'll be spotted out by that ward, and yeah, they will find 7 for 7. The Shackle will not lapse somehow. They will be able to burst him down despite the TP reactors coming in. Jarl looks like they want to try and trade this here. Glimpse back onto Newsham. So it's only Jarl alone with rotation from King Tekka. He'll find himself outnumbered. Okay, 2 quick kills going the way of NoT today, and this time around they will turn it into a tower push. Lose their own up top, and it looks as Ben has. It's actually being tracked down by Jenkins and Newsham, who could glimpse back if you want to remember. Another crush on the Bristleback will keep him away. Might actually be able to get something here. Nice little double stun from Nightmare. Static Storm comes out, no kinetic field to go along with it. Doesn't quite have the mana, but enough to get Ben Haas in range for another crush on a poor little Wisp. Still level 3 Wisp, so it's easy meat, especially with the amp damage on top of him.
Yeah, it's just about time to head over to that stack, I'd say. But again, instant vision being provided here, you can see just how much NoT today are prioritizing this whole area. Crazy, like triangle of wards here. Need a triangle, I don't even know. Roast pit. They got this place on lock, man.
Right? Well, any hero on the side of Kingdom Affairs there will just disappear with appropriate smoke rotations for sure.
And the fact that like, Jericho's over 6 and Lion as well, like versus that level 3 IO that we're talking about, these wards are just ready to fight. And in fact, there's Blink deck. Okay, once there's this blink, I actually don't know if they'll be able to take the stack. We might.
Yeah.
I had this the other game, like an IO Bristleback game. It was almost the exact same scenario. We ended up with about 5 consecutive fights in this area. Until the stack died, nothing else in the game mattered. Could be in one of those scenarios here as well.
On the bright side, NoT today isn't the best equipped to actually take that stack quickly for themselves, so gonna have to try and contest and pick up some of the slack afterwards. Yeah, that's also something that these wards obviously help set up for. Okay, just figure out when they want to go for that. Now, speaking of going for Jenkins, out with the Hex, and now this brought onto Nusham can actually tether himself out. Just use it to link up with the Bristleback, and that's 2 extra easy kills. Nature's Prophet just on point with the exhortations to help provide that additional lockdown to get a secondary kill, not just the primary one set up by Lion.
Yeah, and their early laning stage went so well. Like the Orchid, he doesn't have to go for this. Like Thumb's mech is pretty common right now, and a lot of these teams where you feel like you need a little bit more sustain, a little bit more push. Like we talk about how they don't really have the ability to take this. That kind of sustain, even if you were trying to like mega but the way everything's going, the whole team, the fact that there's almost on the line, like he can just go for this Orchid, he's gonna help focus down the Storm Spirit, and Zizzy is just not gonna be online in time. There's no way. Like by the time he can finally do something with his Bloodstone, he's gonna get Orchided or Blink hexed up here. He has to be like major making plays in the fights when he starts entering.
Yeah, NoT today know that too. They're gonna go straight for the tier 2 here, focus firing it down. The Treant's tanking, and Nightmare just picked up his Blink dagger from the side shop. So he's ready to jump in, blink, stun, hex, whoever they can find. Kill the Nushim here because he can also zip him down with Zone Figure of Death, back off cooldowns. Yeah, it's a hard time for Kingdom right now. As you said, the stalls were just not working out just yet for them. Doing anything, as you said, apart from dying once. Normally you look towards your middle laner, your 2 position in this game to try and control the pace a little bit more, to try and make something happen, but 7 for 7? Well, you're Mirana, there's only so much that you can do on your own, right? We haven't seen any sort of Shadow Demon setups for arrows, we haven't seen any Moonlight Shadow plays. That's biting them in the ass right now. They cannot really respond to this kind of a force push, even without the mechanism on the side of NoT today.
Yeah, I like this early Maelstrom too. The fact that, again, they know just how much right now on the side of NoT today, so not farming up in towards the Agnum Scepter for that Wind Ranger, and they started thinking about where the turnaround point would be, I guess, right? A lot of it being dependent on the stack, and then the other half of it going to be the Agnum Scepter on the Mirana, and then the Bloodstone for that ideal teammate. Way that it would have to go down, not even sure. Maybe Static Storm, if they Disruptor first, or Nightmare, one of those 2 forts knocked down at the very beginning of the fight. They do have the potential. Storm Spirit can catch Benhaus while he's like sprinting, and that'll help boost up the damage obviously, and help burst him down, maybe with the help of Mana 2. Double Star Storm definitely can't be underestimated. Roshan fight could be the play, but unfortunately it's too late. Like they're not gonna have these items not today moving right now.
The Amplify damage on level 1, but more than enough to help them bring it down quickly. And Kingdom, you have a jar there, we'll spot that out. Throwing down a couple of poison stacks. Okay, might be able to snag it here, but Nightmare just blinks up and annihilates him with a quick death. So they securing that for themselves, and Aegis and Slaughter means that he can farm his Blink Dagger with no worries in the world. But stack is still not taken, so maybe that's something where Kingdom can say, alright, now all of a sudden we have a Bristleback who's a little bit more tanky. Now we have an Io with relocates, maybe set up for something. At least for some relocate saves to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit.
King Tech is making the efficiency play here. Old. The ancient jungle in here.
We always see that too, don't we? And it's just so easy, right? You can AFK for a couple of minutes. Sometimes you get caught, sure, especially with Mirana, you can just throw up a casual arrow up there, but other than that, you're not really losing anything. With high points up into the teleport, you can be active on the map whenever you need it as well.
Well, next on the line, there's no reason to like stop this train rolling. Just head up to the top lane, take that down, start eliminating this jungle. Once Dizzy actually has the other thing for Storm Spirit is you can actually jungle really efficiently. Like you're just flying after these camps, killing them all down. New Bloodstone's pretty insane for the mana regen. And it's so much more forgiving too. Like previously with Bloodstone, if you didn't win that first team fight with the Bloodstone, you pretty much lost in a lot of scenarios. You just could not afford to get picked off right away. But he'll have like at it this time. Do finally, with the whole team pushing top lane, start working on the stack.
Let's move Jenkins up top here. Does not have the smoke to really help him out, or the wisp.
It's like,
really.
where's my IO, man?
Yeah.
Look how low.
Help! New ship now TPing in, make that happen, but look at this wraparound, Nightmare and Jericho. Not quite have the finger of depth here, but they will be able to secure that tower push at the very least. Being a sentry inside the dire side. Also very interesting observer ward. What do you think about that placement? Instead of just the classic high ground one.
Sorry, Newsham and Jenkins are almost dying. The stack. Jenkins just died.
What? Oh no! Oh, what? Oh no!
Wow, disaster.
Value observer ward right here. Value observer ward. Now, Moonlight Shadow, well, what can you really do? It just walks in. There's a Star Storm off here. 4 stacks plus the arrow. 5 stacks now of the poison. Sabanas will take quite a bit of damage from that. They're losing the first set of Rexy. 16 minutes in. 6, 7? Okay, that's just the Aegis being buffed immediately. The poison stacks. 5 of the multiply, but still, it's on now. Relocate into the back. Banans came back from the Aegis though. 7 for 7, dropping low in front lines here. Nightmare. Oh, actually not quite enough to bring him down with the disruption here, but Lund was likely from Lisa will do the check. Now TP out from this, that will be denied. Bloom's back on the other side of the Static Storm, still locked down, like the 3 heroes dead on the side of the Kingdom, and only the Lion really, plus the Aegis. Casualties on the side of Not Today, the rest of them will be able to make their way out, easy peasy.
On that buyback too, just further going to be delaying the old Bloodstone here. Only 320, it's not a really big deal, like in terms of his total losses on that fight. But that's a ranged Rex. Uh-oh. Not looking too good side of Kingdom, but we know. They've got the plans, they've got this whole Piranha Aghanim Scepter, we're going to have our Bloodstone, things are going to come online, so we'll see just how fast farm up with bags. We've seen it in a couple games, right? It is pretty ridiculous. How much your GPM goes up and through the roof.
It's just not one of these AK Valmet things, right? You just walk to a lane, you're just like, hey, Starstorm, Starstorm, Starstorm. If you really think about it, that's a lot of damage coming out, a lot of extra DPS. 300 for each right click. Okay, Nightmare actually gets hit by an arrow in the backlines. King Tekka TP's in with the silence up on the wisp, so he'll be comes back and brought down with everyone else rotating in as well. Jenkins able to TP back home. This is just Not Today exerting the pressure, right? It's like they know that they can't really be stopped when they move as 5-man units, so that's exactly what to do. They're 14k ahead with gold. Not so much in experience, right? A lot of that is tower gold. A lot of that is kills and very low level heroes, so you're not really getting a lot of experience off of that. It doesn't matter if you have these big core items up and running. You have the Orchid, you have the Blink plus the Armlet, now going into what I assume is a BKB and Ben has. Nightmare with everything he needs with the Blink plus the Evil Lens. Even Leo style, you mentioned that that mouse film, he's now going into the Aghanim Scepter. It's about halfway there.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, their lead. It's over 15 here now, 18 minutes. It's not that total dead zone of
just turn full Android, dude.
That? Oh, we're roboting?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Typical, you know. Everything has some points.
Yeah. Oh. It's a Disco thing, maybe we can switch to TeamSpeak or something a little bit later. But same time. Yeah, they do have the mechanism now. Bristleback, Jenkins picking that one up, so it makes him more tanky. Obviously, if you play it right together with the Wisp, the Wisp tether, you can get a lot of burst damage out of that, and you just might catch Not Today up a little bit. Got a little bit too many of these squills. And that's the second
well, that's
tower
not
of
a
the
good
game also
sign.
be claimed by Kingdom, so baby steps to taken right now to try and get back into this game. Not actually grabbing the last in that one, unfortunately, but take what you can get. They're gonna have to respond to this top push though. Leah Style, Banhas, Jericho, Nightmare, everyone is there. Obviously King Tech on Nature's Prophet. TP in at any time. And now's the Bloodstone completed there for the Storm Spirit. This could be the fight that they were looking for with the help of that. They do have the Moonlight Shadow. This is Central Ward though, from the Radiant side, spotting out everyone. The arrow hits on Banhas. It's a good target. Try and take out early, and now the zip through. Static Storm in the back, only catches Jenkins. He's quite tanky, not tanky enough. He'll be brought down. No buy except for 7 also. Moonlight Shadow not enough to keep him safe. And of course, the Wisp will die too. This and backlands. They did get Banhas, Nightmare as well. Jericho, next one, Liz dropping low, but the 6 shots will keep him alive. Not another jump, but Ziz expended all of his mana. He eats the mango, but he sounds up, he can't get out just yet, and he will in fact fall. As the 5th man, the buyback from the Shadow Demon, just a little bit too late. Actually get a extra defensive disruption out or anything. His silence plays really make him worth enough today, but they do lose a little bit more this time around amidst the fight recap.
Hey,
There you go, my back's your
gonna
back.
be all good now, yeah.
Hey, you sound just fine, just dandy.
Oh, wow.
Handy dandy.
Okay, so where are we at now? Obviously,
Well, yeah.
finish the racks off.
They did lose Banhas plus the supports, but actually completed Bloodstone, not enough to keep Ziz alive thanks to the silence coming out. So he's down to 10 charges. He got a couple of kills beforehand though, so it's kind of still in a workable condition, right? But
I'm liking this
extra gold infusion.
Aghanim Scepter Maelstrom DD rune for Leo. Ooh, I mean, that is just someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. One. Man.
Oh, wow. 8.4 kills and 8.3 assists per game and on average, well, doing 5 kills already, so as you'll get another one to try and pad that statistic a little bit more. So yeah, it's Leo starting in middle lane, and then every single movement that they've been able to make that he was a part of are just on point. See with the shackles too, helped out by the blink dagger, setting those up. So no surprise that he's sitting on the top of the network chat, right?
Yeah, we'll see how much Zizzy and Suzy can catch up here. I mean, with the Veil, you can just see how fast you completely obliterate creep wave.
Yep. They are liking him. So this is meta now. I haven't actually seen too many Piranhas.
Yeah, it's like super meta. Like, the build is basically Brown Boots into Ring of Aquila into Aghanim Scepter every game. Mail did it with the Midas first, which I've seen from a couple people also going for that as well, but nice shackle down bottom on the DD rune later.
No.
Bound to happen. But the seems like Midas plus the Aghanim Scepter a little bit too much of a farming build, just because obviously Aghanim's is like a massive farming accelerator in itself, so it kind of makes up for the fact of like not getting the Midas early. But you can get it mega early.
Now today, being super efficient, just gonna use the DD rune to take down the Storm Spirit, but also the Roshan, obviously on the back of that level 2 amplify damage now. Just super early in the game, so 23 minutes in. And looking at the second set of racks in Kingdom, facing up against another really hard fight.
They're just lacking, like, this is their initiation, right here. This is all you can do. So where it comes out, they'll know they're in the Moonlight Shadow now.
It's so easily countered. The same thing up top here, there's Plaza Centers everywhere, and then all of the advantage that you wanted to get from that you needed to get from this, from the ultimate of the mid laner, right? That's what comes down to me. Just so easily counter. We're just backing off for a couple of seconds, right? It's not exactly a really long duration.
No, and now what are you even gonna, like, what can you look for here? Really an arrow play, I guess, now from Suzy, if he just gets lucky.
Well, maybe the poison spam from Shadow Demon will do some work. No, glimpse back, 7 for 7 inside the static storm. Nice little defense from dropping Bandits with the BKB, now being pushed down. Good play there from Shadow Demon, and meanwhile in the back, Leo Style almost dropping down to Ziz, but not quite here. 7 for 7 comes in to trigger the Aegis. But Taka and Banhas, well, A lot of damage coming out on stage as well, but he will fall too. Banner's still fighting up against Jenkins here, and his tankiness not quite enough to keep himself safe. This already being down, but he has created the space for this and 7 for 7 to actually clean house in the backline. It's a 4 for 2 trade, and this went better than expected for them, honestly. Much better.
Yeah, it was kind of like we talked about how there's a lack of initiative in them, and they came in on NoT today. Like disruptor play right on top of the Mirana, but obviously job with the disruption, countering the disruption, a little bit of a tongue twister. Takes care of their little combo, saves Mirana, easy game. I mean, forcing kind of a botch initiative, really their best hope at that, and then in the end, Zizzy winds up with 10 Bloodstone charges to the head before the pick off on the bottom lane, so he's back to farming speed here. And as the game goes on later, I mean, you know, Bristleback, he becomes a threat. Build into this new Vanguard Abyssal build quite a bit easier than he'd be able to, which is kind of sick for him.
No, blink tag on the Mirana. They have a little bit of extra mobility to play with. Blink in, get the double star storm off. We leap out or something like that. I don't get some of these tools, and well, they're only 1 Rex down, right? That's what it comes down to as well. It's still manageable, especially if you consider this heavy AoE that you have with the Veil and the Aghanim Scepter. So today, well, looking at the graphs, they kind of bled out a little bit, obviously, but it's still 15k gold ahead. Not so much in terms of experience, though. So I think the gold lead is still enough to go for 1 or 2 more of these pushes. Risk failing them. Okay, Ziz. Oh, that's a nice little pickup. Defensive relocate, not quite successful. Nice little stun there from Nightmare. Unable to help his buddy out. So
every little pick, man, that just hurts, but reduced respawn time. Pretty handy here. I like that he went for the Yules too, because he needed something to try and deal with this kid and trying to give himself a little bit more survivability if he happens to be caught inside a static storm or anything like that.
Or too much for him there, but
enough.
yes. Just so much burst damage. That's the Vanguard that you were talking about, going into the Abyssal.
I wonder if there's like any sort of pick-off potential here. I mean, the Mirana, it is a ton of burst. We're looking at out with the disruptions, so we're gonna split push, I guess, guys. Yeah, demon illusions that die before they hit the wave. Oh, there we go.
I'll take
1, 2.
1 right click, 2 right clicks each. Yes. Maybe Mirana had a Maelstrom. Would actually make sense, but hey, you do what you can, I suppose. I mean, what else are you gonna do if you're stuck in your base like that? Can't really get vision up with the gem on the disruptor too. Jericho using that. It's really Kingdom. All they really can do is just stick around as 5. Maybe go for a smoke play here. This could actually work. If they find someone, just do not be fooled by the illusions. Biggest thing, but no one's even here.
Well, they had to try something. I don't know if they were hoping to interrupt the smoke or what. Vision will give them a little more control over the jungle now. The Radiant side after scanning, they're gonna go. See if they get scanned out. Oh, actually, that's the Radiant scan just used now, isn't it?
No. They used their own scan a little bit earlier in this general area, but now,
yeah.
Well, this is counter smoke from NoT today. I just run into a couple more heroes than they thought, but 7 for 7 blinks in, leap across here, blink further. It should be 7 for 7 going down. If they have the vision here, they
actually
not.
don't.
Jericho just comes in now. It's they will still get the kill for the 7 for 7. At least space created to make sure everyone else gets out alive. But at what cost, Modbags? At what cost?
I mean, they're not on your high ground, so there's that, at the very least. Everyone else got out. Unsuccessful smoke, but it could be say a little bit harder. By the way, it still doesn't look like they're getting much done that's going to be helping to pull them outside of this hole. It has to be more botched high ground attempts from the side of NoT today, so that kind of goes on to their own onus of like, whenever we push, how much do we feel they really need? It might even just be until next Roshan.
No. This got absorbed region rune, so at least you can feel nice about that. On the Storm Spirit, but not really doing much for him in terms of getting them ahead or getting them some sort of breathing space. Like they're slowly starving, because they can't really get out on the map to farm. They cannot really push the waves out across the river. All they can really do is try and stall as much as they can. Hope that's gonna be enough. I'm not sure if that's the case. I mean, if you look at these teams, would you favor just a pure late game scenario, like if everyone would be 6 stacks? Or full slaughtered, I should say.
It's pretty hard to call. Kind of... Bristleback is such a difficult hero to analyze in that sort of feel like. It's hard to judge like what the hero's actually gonna be able to accomplish if you can just all kite him around and walk back and forth. But in other scenarios, the hero's just like a monster who 4 path stacks, he's running all over your team, he's high ground, so a lot of it's coming down to where these fights are taking place, and there are some advantages right now for Kingdom. In this case, it's just that Bristleback pretty good on its own high ground, back and forth, able to make sure you can't get into like all the numerous angles on top of them. And then the big one, of course, we all know how important Storm Spirit buyback used to be. And now it's all about Storm Spirit going to the fountain and coming back. Like, you can't abuse buyback quite as much, but it's pretty much the best place on the map for Zizzy to take fight.
That's what we see now today. Taking it a little bit slower here, just trying to control of the map. Are there any more items that you're really looking at on the course? I mean, AKB recently completed on Leo style, and Ben has going for the hard by the looks of it. It's only gone to a lot of gold a little bit earlier, but that's his choice instead of the AC.
It's a little bit different. Their smoke's moving out of this ward, so maybe they can try and catch something. I don't know if they're gonna go for a bait on Jenkins though. This seems a little bit obvious. But they don't have any vision over the Roshan pit. Yeah. In terms of other items for the raid though, like King Tekka trying to get a little bit rich. Should probably just finish the Mjolnir item for right now. Doing best. Arrows gets out. No Roche.
I really like
I do like the hard
map. Yeah. But today, do they not have another smoke for themselves, but looks of it. But seems like they're really good at reading the map. Obviously, all this vision helps. I'm not sure if the Kingdom actually smoked up under this observable or not, but today you just seem to know what's going on. Up at the right times. Got the time on Roshan, so know that it should be up fairly soon. They're starting to take control of this particular piece of real estate. They're gonna start dewarding. If they have any sense up on the high ground here.
Yeah, it's just good patient Dota from them. Knowing that they can't rush anything. They got caught once. Had a bit of a bad engagement, so kind of waited out this time. Now secured the part of the map around the Roshan pit. They are fully aware as to what Kingdom are up to, I'm sure. Just the fact that like bottom lane was pushed out far enough that they can go into their own jungle. D-wards, put some wards up, so they'll have to be a little bit more cautious that they want to go back in there for themselves on the side of NoT today.
Just a nightmare on the guard of treants and just keeping an eye on Roche. We'll be spawning right the hell now. But hey, look at this. 7 for 7, Dim's back, already used the leap. Blink, and even the statics don't commit it for it. Almost a win here if you want to buy back and contest this Roche. Not having that static storm to deal with, I mean, it makes a difference. But then again,
yeah, it looks like they saw Jenkins.
Yeah.
Walk right out here too. Can they actually go for this? Be really bad.
Vision, they do have it. With the Sprout coming in, a nice little long range stun. Yeah, should be able to. Yeah, you just pop him. Nowhere for him to go. It should be another free Roche. For the side of NoT today. Shackle through tree cross here. Okay. Why not? Well, I'm gonna just say it's gonna be another Aegis on Leo style by the looks of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Cheese onto Slaughter. Obviously with the hard build. Does have a lot of health to spare. Can make full use of that. Hard armlet also makes a lot of sense, right? If you already have the armlet, you can kind of have it on all the time.
This has to be like Veil play ever. Can you go for a bait with illusions maybe?
Unless the arrow to start off, we'll head on Jericho, so that could be a nice pickup if they can take it out. 7 for 7 is going for it here. Blink into the lead, and they do get that pick off. Ziz comes in with the zip. They're able to take out the jump, but now Jenkins in front line. They have the Moonlight Shadow. And not today without the disruptor. Feeling as comfortable here. They did secure the gem now. It's Lion picking that one up. Another arrow. This one will miss.
That's huge though. Definitely the key target. Not only is he the mech carrier, but Static Storm. Probably the most important AoE spell in this entire game right now. Trying to control and guarantee yourselves these team fights. The other common build we've been seeing with this Mirana is actually Dagon coming out next. So going for the Ghost Scepter, he might actually turn that into an E-Blade. Potentially. Just trying to increase your nuke damage again. Like, think about Blink Veil. Like, he should be able to eliminate any hero he wants on the Radiant side. Probably besides Lyra with his 3k to the heart. But even Leo style will be coming close. I think that'll be the build.
Seems like the easiest build ever, though. Doesn't it?
I mean, it's scary, but at the same time,
yeah,
like, Firestorm works where you just blink in, you pass it, you get the immediate double, and then you just leap out.
Yeah.
Really have another choice.
Well, definitely worked on the last fight for them here. Picking off Jericho like that. Sure enough, today cannot really reliably continue that push. Bottom in the minute or two now. I'm gonna group up again. And this, he's still at the point where, well, he has to be careful where he goes and how far he zips because he does not have the big region coming in. Only 6 charges up on Botstone. Obviously, Orchid now helping out as well a little bit.
Oh man, hard game for Zizzy and Uzi.
Yeah.
No defensive items here at all. And you can't really blame them. Well, this is pretty smart going for the blade. And he actually goes back for the Dagon first, so just ensuring that he'll have his buyback but still have a new item.
That extra burst coming out, and now he's slipping from Ziz. They do get Leo Star in front, but Silence comes out. Moonlight Shadow to try and protect him. Jenkins, Corvo Star in front line. Leo Star actually dropping quite low. BKB will not save him, so that's the Aegis triggered. Ziz on the backlines here, trying to finish up these supports, and will get Nightmare. Now, does he have enough mana to zip out? Yes, he does. Static Storm coming in as well. Relocate forward, actually. King Tucker will be able to get the right clicks up on that Wisp, though. So Glimsback and Jenkins actually puts him in a safe position. Banaz like for destruction. Nice little shackle though. Take care of the Bristleback, but what the hell, Banaz? He's dying to this. Dying to the AoE. 7 from 7. He's still doing damage here. Now it's only Leo Stars this. Still alive, still working with the Orchid. Turning it into a full 5-man wipe. That was just not today, kind of crumbling and panicking a little bit, wasn't it?
It's a lot of burst. I think it's hard to organize your team fight when something like this Mirana just flies in and you all lose like down to 25% HP, thinking about backing. I didn't even see like, oh, the mech actually did popped, but man, you can barely even tell.
Mirana did more than 4,000 damage in that fight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And meme build or not, this is very effective in these kind of 5v5 situations. I'll give him that.
This graph is just going plummeting down. They lose another one of those fights. Like, even now, I'm sure it's pretty close here. And Susie is just rich, man. 5,100 gold. He can actually afford the E-Blade and buyback. I wonder if now he's going to start transitioning to a more, like, around the map kind of a build with a BKB. But no, give me the E-Blade. Oh, yeah. Let's go. I'm sure this is the build. So he can blow up. King Tiger still has high BKB charges. Yeah, 8 left, and the Slardar too. Like, it's a very difficult fight to actually work around these. I'd be surprised if it goes that well again. Susie trying to make something happen of an invis room, but he has no mana.
There's everyone here on the side of not today, so would be going for that if I was him. And yeah, he starts better on as well. Could have easily maybe picked up the line just with a standard bail to the Starstorm. Could have maybe blinked out, but then again, no TP or anything. I think that should be his next stop, probably. With Boots of Travel or anything. Kingdom, Signs of Life, they do hold the high ground once again. This time around, though, they did lose their tier 3s, so a little bit of chip damage done. The silver lining for not today is they group up again. This time, all 5 are smoked up. Maybe hoping to catch someone trying to push out a lane a little bit too aggressively here, but Kingdom all held around inside their own base. Waiting for another team fight just like that. This, well, we'll zip out, zip in. all the way back to base. In fact, you need a couple of
Gonna be a
seconds to
little
actually
bit
reach him.
sneakier.
Even popping your clarity. And there's the Moonlit Shadow once again. Jenkinson front lines. The bin. Sprout actually keeps him safe. Now Jericho in the back lines here. Looks like they want to try and bring him down. Couple of BKBs used, and now 7-for-7 on the backlines, pushing off down one. And Jericho down the drain. No one really lost on South Kingdom just yet. BKB's running low. Nice little bash from Jenkins.
Oh, that's a big shackle.
Now Shackle, 4-star here, keeps him a little bit further away in 7-for-7. And have to leap actually. He will be bursted down. Does have buyback, might have to use him. Yeah, there he does. As everyone else is getting chased back to base. How the disruption on the ban has. That'll be that. Jenkins down. Buyback 4-star from Marana. Only
that was
giving
actually
up the disruptor. Yeah, trade.
Force made huge plays right there. Time to static storm on one person and just allows Ja to just cancel it out. Every time he's just disrupting, using power this Aether Lens and Force Staff and range that he has to make sure he gets on the correct target that he wants. And right at the end, they're almost a big, like so close. He went for the relocate back to Fountain and he tried to target on top of Amarana Susie, but there was a Force Staff that came out at the same time from Ja trying to save Marana. So it ended up being like, I think he was trying to click the Marana and then she got moved at the last moment.
Oh,
Fountain by himself.
That's annoying. Yeah, that does make a difference. It means if Marana is now getting called out only just one more time, High push, then they will start losing their racks, and this can really start make something happen. And yeah, speaking of him, I mean, he's back to 10 charges on a Bloodstone. He's at 3.8k goals. Yeah, he's going into the BKB now, so Static Storm, okay, these kind of things, not really much of a concern for him anymore. Especially with Lotus Orb here, I really like that pickup too from Ja. Even more saving potential. Even turnaround potential, something like a Focus Fire, that could be hilarious.
As Shackle is like
Shackle,
one of the biggest
yeah,
ones as well. Like, if it turns into a two-man Shackle on the side of Not Today, you're just gonna be so salty.
Yep.
What do they have now?
Smoke out from Kingdom. Turn this want to go a little bit more aggressive. They also pop the Moonlight Shadow. Double protection on that, but they might be able to get the whole full wraparound here on the side of Not Today.
Oh, they saw them. The scan.
No, the scan. It's red.
Played, nicely played. They just camped the high ground hoping to pop smokes. That would have been a disaster if they had kept.
Yeah. Again, making a difference. Very situational, and these kind of things can save your ass if you're Not Today. Knowing what's going on, but yeah. Did not quite work out, so they're gonna be relegated once again to just high ground defense.
Oh.
Can't really be too unhappy about that though. I mean, considering the way the last couple of fights went.
It's just getting like, it's so risky for Not Today. I don't know what happened. They're so far ahead and everything's good, and it seemed like they were unstoppable in these fights. And like we talk about these big items coming online, but I never actually imagined them to here. The Bloodstone allowing that farm speed, of course, to increase so much for Zizzy and being able to propel himself into some bigger items. That Aghanim 7, you really see the impact of it in these team fights. And the fact that they've been able to target down Jericho every fight, like, not in a single fight have they actually successfully targeted down like a single target from Not Today. They haven't got this big, like, blink their death on the Marana and we just win the. If that happens now, and certainly, right? Like, she just bought back. We're remaining on that, still 3/3. I
also really think that it's also a big part due to the mobility that Kingdom actually has, right? You have a Wisp with the lineup, you have this on the Stormsword, obviously very mobile hero. You also have 7/7 here with a blink as well as the leap available. So that allows Kingdom to actually stay back quite far away, and then and also quite far spread apart, and then still able to get into a position where they can start fighting. So that's also one of the reasons why we've seen these static storms from Jericho. I mean, even when he gets them off, as you said, it's mostly one target. It's kind of like by Ja. So,
yeah, the Force Staff
Kingdom, they're able to work around that. Yeah, that
like,
as well.
Obviously, there's no Aghanim Scepter or anything, so if you're Condeside as a support, Ja can just take himself out of it. This is one thing about their lineup, though. They
today, Kingdom are just able to go straight into Not Today, into them, like in the midst of them, go right back out again. That's creating enough chaos for Gideon to be able to snag 1 or 2 of these kills and then get back out again. Without not today really being able to react with what you said with the blink hacks or anything.
We also always hear about just, you know, vision heroes and how important they are today in the game. So far for the Dire side, obviously, they have a really good ward right now that has been counted out. It might be, yeah, there it goes now. But for the Radiant, it's very hard to get high ground vision. They have it this time, which could allow them to actually do much better in this fight.
Focus fire on the melee racks, they're still available, now the fight goes on. This pops his BKB, now focusing on Jericho. Does have the Glimmer KP, keeping him safe. Meanwhile on the backline as well, they're looking to try and blow up 7 for 7 and
nice
the relocate. Not enough! He still dies inside the fountain. Now it's all on Ziz here, glimpse back onto Jar, dropping low to a couple of right clicks here. Same for Jenkins, and Ziz dies inside the Sprout. And available, this was the fight, this was the angle. Today was lacking up until this point. Yusham last man standing. Put a little wisp, will just get right click down. This might just be GG right here. No more buybacks available. No more racks available, and well, so wait for Kingdom to come back into this, but
That's
it'll be over inside of a minute.
That ward was actually massive. I don't know how that ward was still there. No sentries being set by the Dire side, but when Zizzy jumped in, they had full vision of it coming in on that angle, and then they were he gave me ready from Benjaz and kind of stopped that whole initiation. That was very crazy. A little bit unusual in a lot of teams, but able to hold on for that long.
Yeah. Oh, comeback from Mega Creeps this time around. 30 and 11,000 games. Nice little stat there, obviously. Well, Kingdom. Not quite enough to push it home. Not today. They stumbled a little bit, but they have been able to hold on to that to the lead throughout the entire game. Really, if you look at the graph, never really been below that